What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you're well. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, our first story comes from Count of Monte Crinkles, and it's from the celiac subreddit, and it's important to mention that, and you'll soon see why. It's titled, Getting Married and Mother-in-Law is Upset Because We Have to Find a Restaurant with Gluten-Free Options for the rehearsal dinner. I'm literally the bride. I'm getting married and have an insane mother-in-law, like got kicked out of hospitals for abusing her cancer doctor crazy. And she always complains about having to go to a restaurant that has gluten-free options that aren't a salad. She's paying for the rehearsal dinner, and we gave her a long list of places where the gluten-free options all in a good price range. Where there's gluten-free options, all in a good price range. She doesn't even know any of the restaurants where I live. Not a single one except the list we gave her. She bitched to my fiancé about it so badly that he straight up said he wouldn't invite her if she kept doing these kind of things to me. So, bravo to him. She always makes sure, literally tells it to my face that I'm a huge inconvenience. I'm literally the bride. Added, my friends and family decided if she makes us go somewhere I can't eat, we're all going to go to get drinks somewhere and hang out. Everyone is on board and happy to make sure she doesn't come near me during the wedding. I'm not going to let a narcissist ruin our wedding, and my friends are on board to keep her away. I will say hello and goodbye, but if she tries to say anything more, I'm going to walk away and talk to someone else. If she makes a scene at my wedding, well, I'll watch her make a fool of herself and embarrass herself in front of everyone and enjoy the show, because no one is ever on her side because of the way she acts. Thanks for the support, validation, and kindness. You guys are amazing. Imagine being that awful. And you hinted at it several times that this isn't the first time that something like this has happened, that she's just an awful person in general. It's not just about this restaurant, it just sounds like she's like this anyway. And it seems like your fiancé is on your side about these things, and it sounds like it's getting time to take this maybe even a step further. I know it always sounds like extreme, but as time's gone on, I come to question myself about people and like, what do they actually bring to your life? She's calling you a huge inconvenience to your face. What is she offering to your life apart from fucking being a right pain in the ass? I know she's the mother of your fiancé, but it sounds like he's fed up with her behavior as well. But Pluto has plans as, ugh, that's gross behavior. Don't let her be involved in that part of the planning or any if you feel it's right. If she's going to act like that, it's literally your wedding. I hope you have an absolutely delicious gluten-free meal with your loved ones and a great wedding. Opie says, I didn't even really want a rehearsal dinner because I feel guilty about someone else paying. I sort of don't want to have one again. Deep Crater says, she just sounds like an awful person. I don't think it has anything to do with your celiac. You are the bride. The number one priority is you and your partner. Opie says, thank you. I've been so low maintenance, frugal, and just focusing on people having fun. My BFF keeps having to remind me that I am the bride. I think she thinks it's her wedding. Who Are You says, yes, she's awful. Next time she's rude to your face, tell her she needs to remember the lessons from her parents' generation. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And grin and bear it. So 1 month later, OP comes in with an update and says, well, the situation has been fixed, but I think I gave my mother-in-law a stroke. She got a lot more controlling than just the restaurant. Surprise, surprise. First, she called me and screamed that no one in her family can eat at the restaurant we chose, that they all looked at the menu and said they all want pizza, somewhere I've been glutened before. She said no one in my entire family can eat there. Everyone will be sick. They all hate it. By the way, not giving a shit about my family. So I decided to call each and every one of her family members that are coming to the rehearsal and asked if they were fine with eating with what we picked. Turns out the mother-in-law called everyone trying to get them to agree with her about getting pizza. They all said they told her they wanted the place we picked, and half of them couldn't even eat pizza. So she just flat out lied, and just really wants pizza. She even started inviting and uninviting whoever she wanted. She was cutting people out of the dinner who actually ate participating in the rehearsal, and adding people in who aren't. Well, she called 2 weeks ago and snapped, "We're getting pizza and you have no choice." So I told her I'm paying for the rehearsal now, not you. We're going to go where we want. You can go and get pizza. This bitch, this 76-year-old woman responded by screaming. She didn't scream no or any actual words. She just screamed at the top of her lungs. I hung up, blocked her number. My SO is amazing, and that night sent her a text telling her she is no longer any part of the rehearsal or wedding planning. He's been ignoring her text since, obviously checking for emergencies, but it's just her saying mean shit to him. I'm so glad to live 350 miles away from this psycho. I just wanted to eat. What in the fuck? And you mentioned that she's not going to be a part of the rehearsal or any wedding planning. What about the wedding itself? The way it sounds, there's a strong chance she's going to act up at your wedding. Do you want that on your day? So I think there's a decent conversation there to be had between you and your SO about that. She is just trouble, but the commenter says, if she is as bad as you say she is and you don't want her at the wedding anymore, hire security. Seen too many posts in other subs about it. It's great when you're waffling on how to delicately approach the situation and they go nuclear and solve it for you, isn't it? Forbas says, in some locals you can call the police non-emergency line or drop in the local station and ask about hiring an off-duty officer in uniform if you wish to provide security presence at a wedding and reception, and be sure to say they'll get free food too. They may refer you to their local FOP, but young officers are always looking to pick up on the odd security job here and there and some extra pay. Their presence tends to have a calming effect on troublemakers. Good luck and best wishes. OP responded by saying, "Oh, this is good to know. I fuck you not. My entire family is ready to kick her out physically, but I don't want them to have to spoil their time. An officer would be better, and damn, it'll be funny when she makes a scene." And after that one, all I can say is, OP, whatever path you go down, I hope things go smoothly with less drama is possible with that mother-in-law, because, you know, I think she will just continue to double down. She's not someone that's going to turn around and apologize to you. And, you know, she's already told you how she feels about you. It just says it all to me, really. It just sounds like everyone is sick of her behavior. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story from Throwaway Sister-in-Law Tester, and says, am I the arsehole here for laughing in my sister-in-law's face when she DNA tested my daughter? I, 30 male, have a daughter who's 6. I'm not biologically related to her at all. There is no blood relation between us. I was friends with her mother for almost all of my childhood. We were never involved romantically and we're always just friends. She had her daughter at 23 with her 25-year-old husband. When my daughter was a newborn, about 3 months technically, both her mother and father were killed. I won't go into too much detail for privacy reasons, but it was a workplace shooting. My friend and her husband had worked in the same building and were both killed. Both my friend and her husband had grown up with less than ideal families and didn't have any siblings, so there wasn't any next of kin for their daughter to go to. However, because I was close with them, I was able to adopt her. Even though I had been iffy about the idea of kids, I didn't want their daughter to grow up in foster care or around people who didn't have a connection to her bio parents, so I stepped in. My parents and siblings know that my daughter is not my actual daughter biologically speaking. My daughter, I call Lily for the post, also knows that she's adopted. I never really hid the fact that she was adopted. She knows her parents are dead and were killed by a bad man, but I'm saving the details for when she is older. Lily does not look like me at all. She looks exactly like her mother and biological dad. Most people assume that I'm her bio dad and that she just took after her mum. I don't ever really correct this when and if people assume this because it just seems unnecessary. My brother has been with his fiancée for about 2 years now. A few weeks ago, we were all meeting up at my parents' house and my sister-in-law saw an old picture of me, my friend, and her husband. She pointed to my friend and asked who she was, and I explained that was Lily's mother. Sister-in-law got quiet and stood in front of the picture for a while. I didn't think much of it. To clarify, she knows my friend died, but I guess didn't know that she had been married, or that Lily was not my bio daughter. I suppose she assumed my daughter was mine and my friend's biological daughter. My sister-in-law got a DNA test done on my daughter behind my back. She used my brother's DNA for the test, and when it came back that they weren't related, she knew that meant me and Lily weren't related. She came up to me with the results and waved them in my face, saying that I was taking care of a dead woman's affair baby. She said this to me in front of my daughter. I just stared at her for a while before bursting out laughing at this. I told her I knew Lily wasn't my biological daughter, and that this thing called adoption exists. Her face went red and she stormed off. My brother is mad I embarrassed his fiancée, but I said she embarrassed herself by DNA testing a kid that isn't hers and then parading the results up to me. What does she want me to do? What was her goal with this? Did she want me to break down and abandon my daughter? My brother said that she thought she was doing the right thing and called me an arsehole. I don't feel like the arsehole, especially considering my sister-in-law was the one who stuck her nose in where it doesn't belong. I'm asking for Reddit opinions, mostly just for validation. So, was I the arsehole? It doesn't sound like she was trying to protect you in the slightest. It just sounded like, in some ways, that she was looking for some kind of drama. The way that she went about it, she could have spoken to you privately and quietly about it. She didn't do that. She went and got a DNA test on your child behind everyone's back. Is that even legal? DNA testing someone else's kid? And your brother's just as bloody awful defending that kind of behavior. When she was stood in front of that photo, it was giving me like a really vivid image that she was going to like turn around and maybe question about what was going on, like in a logical kind of way. I mean, I shouldn't have thought of that from the title in itself. I should have seen where this was going, right? And she said this in front of Lily as well. No regard to how Lily would have felt about this. Absolutely awful. First commenter says, not the arsehole. She wanted to stir some shit up. That's a hell of a lot of effort to help. Also, I'd be pissed about how she got Lily's DNA to do this. It didn't go the way she thought it was going to go, so she got mad. Your brother is just trying to side with his soon-to-be wife. Spinner of Yarn says, brother should be appalled. His own fiancé didn't even have the decency to talk to him about it first, and let him bring it up with his brother. Methinks someone watches a bit too many telenovelas and was expecting some sort of big collective gasp and the whole family to be appalled and throw this poor motherless child into the street where she deserves to be, as she is the daughter of a whore, while the rest of the family throws sister-in-law a parade for saving him and the rest of the family from this devil child. Throwing the kid into the street, etc. and so forth is obviously sarcasm on my part. Broke Wing says, your brother is marrying an evil, manipulative, sadistic piece of work with no soul. She had no right to do that. It's not her business. You should be deeply offended. That was aggressive. She meant to do harm to you and your child. She might not be consciously aware of it, but that is what it was. Your brother is making his bed and will lie in it if he chooses. One day she will do something similar to him and he will need you in his corner. Too bad for him. You can't talk sense into him, but you can refuse to have anything to do with that C-word bitch. And one more comment from Pudding Anya, who says, not the arsehole. Your sister-in-law's actions were completely inappropriate and out of line. It's absurd that she would DNA test your child without your permission and then confront you with the results in front of your daughter. You were justified in laughing at her and pointing out the absurdity of her behavior. So OP did update the post, and their update was titled, my brother lied to my sister-in-law about everything. My sister-in-law ended up coming to my house and apologizing, as well as telling me the full story. My brother put her up to the DNA test. When I first adopted Lily, my brother for some reason believed that Lily was my bio daughter. He thought that me and Lily's mum were together and just weren't telling anyone. He believes that when she got pregnant, Lily's mum told me that Lily was mine and that she was just going to say that it was her husband's, and I went along with it because I didn't really want kids. Sister-in-law was under the impression I believed I was Lily's bio dad. She saw the picture of Lily's mum and I, and after asking for clarification on who she was, assumed we were together in it, and then got suspicious when she saw the other guy in the picture, Lily's actual bio dad. Looked a lot like Lily. I also want to clarify that I didn't tell her that Lily's bio dad was in the picture because she had specifically pointed to Lily's mum, and I assumed she knew that Lily was adopted. I didn't know my brother had been telling her lies for nearly 2 years. She got the DNA test out of her own suspicions, and my brother helped her with it because he thought it would reveal that I was actually Lily's biodad. He manipulated her into thinking that it would clear the air of suspicion, when really he was just trying to prove that I was really Lily's biodad and lying about the reason for adoption. Well, of course, the results proved I wasn't Lily's biodad and that my brother was wrong. My brother felt too embarrassed to confess to his fiancée that he had lied about the circumstances, which is why sister-in-law confronted me with the results. My sister-in-law also apologized for showing me the results in front of my daughter. She told me that her mum had an affair and cheated on her father, got pregnant with another man's kid, and had let her father believe the kid was his. Her father was devastated by this when he found out, and she grew very resentful of women who do that to their spouses. She'd wanted to sit me down and talk to me about it without my daughter. But when she saw me with my daughter, she got angry, thinking I was being led on to believe I was raising my daughter when I was actually raising another man's kid, and she ended up exploding and immediately waved the results in my face. My sister-in-law does feel very guilty, and she's angry at my brother for lying to her. I'm not angry at her for doing the test, because she thought she was doing the right thing. I also forgave her for the way she told me about the results, because clearly affairs are a sensitive subject for her, and I can understand why she would have exploded like that. I'm pretty sure she plans to break up with my brother now, and I don't blame her. When I called and asked my brother about this, he admitted it. When I asked why he would think this, he said that he couldn't think of a reason why a man who had been against having kids at the time would willingly adopt a baby without having a blood connection to it. He told sister-in-law that I was Lily's biodad and was aware of the fact. He took it a step further and said that me and Lily's mum were together at the time of Lily's conception. Both me and my parents are now going low contact with my brother for a while now. I know I will forgive my brother eventually, but I can't do that right now. He believed I was low enough to have an affair with a married woman, get her pregnant, take no responsibility, allow her to pass off the kid as another man's, and then only take responsibility because her mum died. TLDR, my brother thought I was having an affair with Lily's mum and thought I was Lily's biodad. He tricked sister-in-law into believing that I was in a relationship with Lily's mum and was Lily's biodad. Sister-in-law then saw the picture of Lily's mum and her husband and assumed Lily was an affair child between the two of them and was being led on to believe that I was Lily's biodad. I don't think I'll be able to forgive the sister-in-law for what she did in this situation. You know, Opie explained that she's got trauma in her past from other stuff going on. I'm sorry, but that still doesn't give you an excuse to do a DNA test on a child, try and chuck it in their face because you get angry about it. That section where Opie said she had wanted to sit me down to talk to me about it with my daughter, but then she saw Opie with the daughter and got angry and acted and then, shoved these results in Opie's face with the daughter there. What was the outcome you would be expecting from that? You're just going to hurt people. If Lily didn't know she was already adopted, that could have caused absolutely horrific pain to that child. And to Opie as well if they didn't know for whatever reason, right? And she can explain the reasons why she did it because of her past, etc. It doesn't mean she has to be forgiven for it. I don't think I'd be able to forgive someone who did that. The thought process behind it, thinking about the outcome, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in his face, even if it's in a moment of anger. It could have had devastating consequences. And the brother in this situation is absolutely horrific as well. He's thinking about you in this way. How does your relationship with your brother recover from that? When you're stood in front of him, you know what he's thinking about you. His mindset ain't going to change anytime soon. Absolutely messy. And, I just don't think I'd want much to do with these two people anymore. But that's just my point of view. So now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Is it something in the end that you may be able to move past? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so, so much. And don't forget at the very end of the video, there'll be a couple of playlists there that you can click on and it will automatically scroll through all the videos for you. So whatever you're doing, maybe you're just chilling out, doing a bit of art. Maybe you're driving across the country or painting some Warhammer like someone showed me over on Twitter the other day. At Mark Narrations, by the way. Don't forget to send me those pics of your hobbies. I absolutely love to see them. But the playlist will continue to scroll in the background. Anyway, I hope I see you in the next one. Take care and much love.